orders to me. I don't know.
New world order.
Right? The master product. I don't know. It's a little freaky.
Yep.
That's pretty good.
Good.
All right. So, if you missed last class, I'm hoping that you remember your factoring. We didn't make it up to cubes or squares. So there are problems on the practice test that won't be on the actual test because we didn't make it up to the 5, 6. It just deals with difference of squares and sum and difference of cubes. Yes.
This is you doing monomial, binomial, right?
Now this one is the one that's a trinomial, so it's got 3 terms. So I'm not going to try to group it right off the bat, right? Because that would be 4 or more terms. But what do I always try first?
Take out the common of the greatest common.
Yeah, always try GCF first. Otherwise, this would so suck. Because the number out front's not 1, right? So I'd have to multiply this by that. Good God. And then find factors that make it screw that. So GCF is either the only thing I can do, or it might make the problem easier, right? So what is the GCF?
12.
12. Beautiful. Sure enough, if 12 comes out,
6y.
good, 12 times 6 is 72, so I get 6y squared
5y.
plus 5y,
6.
6. For some reason, people are able to take a y out of there a lot, which is neat, right? I can't take a y out of this guy, so no y can come out. It's got to be able to come out of everybody, right?
Right.
I wasn't sure on that was a trinomial because I thought we were only counting expressions with the y next to them. So I
Come on now.
count everything.
72 on its own is a polynomial. It's a monomial degree 0, right? So terms are always separated by pluses and minuses. So that means I must have 1, 2, 3 terms, right?
So that's as far as I got.
The number negative 72 by itself is a monomial. In
Right.
fact, to be even more precise, it's a 0th degree monomial. That's another name for a number, right? That's a fully technical name for a number. It's just a 0th degree monomial because it's got 0 variables. So this is definitely a trinomial, right? 3 terms. Which means what I'm going to try to do now, this is still not a 1, which still semi-sucks. It's a little harder.
What we're trying to do, try to get what adds up times 6 and add up to 5? Or we'll do 6 times 6 then?
So whenever the first number is not a 1,
40.
we looked last time at how that messes me up. It messes the middle stuff up. I've got to take it into account, or else I can never work backwards. So I've got to do 6 times negative 6.
Okay.
Negative 36.
Now what factors of this add up to be 5?
Okay.
There's not too many of them, so.
No.
So really, what's got to be true about those two factors? Do they have to be the same sign or different signs?
They have to be different.
They have to be different signs, right? Because it's got to multiply being negative. If they're both positive, both negative, it's going to multiply being positive. So really, I've heard the answer already, but I want 2 numbers that are 5 apart. Because one of them is going to be negative. It's like they're subtracting to be 5, right? So I heard the answer already. 4 and 9, they're 5 apart, right? And they multiply to be 36. Which one's got to be negative, though?
9. Because it takes,
well-
no, 4. Because 9 takes
Yeah, so the bigger one's got to be this. And that only makes sense when you add 2 numbers together. I got to get some WD-40 for that thing. I do. I think I have a, well, anyway. What was it? Oh, so when you have 2 numbers that are different signs, the larger one is the sign that's left over, right? If the negative 9 and plus 4, that would be negative 5 left over. That sucks. So I want the 9 to be positive, the 4 to be negative. Now, of course, what sucks when I show you a problem like this, see how much I'm talking? I talk a lot just so you can kind of follow what I'm doing. How much have I actually done?
Not a whole lot.
Not a whole lot. So as a student, you're like, these problems are going to be long. No, it's just Jeff.
You have to explain it with the detail.
I have to explain every little thing, but the actual, this isn't that long. What do I do now, though, with those? How do I use the 4 and the 9?
You gotta put them in brackets. No.
Put them in the middle.
They'll take the sign of.
You gotta break them down more.
So the whole problem,
2 times negative 2
So here we go.
equals 30.
one thing is that 12 just comes for the ride.
Yeah.
He just comes for the ride. He's done.
figured this 6
You
times.
can't go straight to this.
Right.
Now, some of you guys might do trial and error, which is where you just put 2 and 3 and 3 and 2, and if that doesn't work, you try 6 and 1 and 3 and 2. If that doesn't work, you try 6 and 1 and 2, 3 and, oh my God. Which is fine, you'll get there.
Eventually.
But this way, it says, I want a way that will get me there without all that guessing, right? So I break the middle term up.
Right.
So this is still 6y squared.
Right.
5y is negative 4y
Plus 9y.
plus 9y.
Minus 6.
So I haven't changed this at all. Right, so on one level it's like, ooh, way to go, Jeff. Negative 4 plus 9 is 5. Ooh, but now I've got how many terms in here? How many terms do I have?
Four.
Four
I get
terms.
it,
So what do you
I
do
get
when you have 4 or more terms?
You break them up in groups?
Group it.
Grouping.
So that's the whole idea behind what I call, and there's all kinds of names for these things, so I don't care what you call it, but I call it surefire method. Why? Because if it works, surefire, this is going to get you there. It's like I'm a little bit, you can't tell, but I am a Georgia boy, so I'm a little, anyway. I'm not gonna
Freakiness.
relapse into my country accent. But now I can group this thing. So this is an ugly 3-term deal. Now it's a not so bad 4-term deal, because grouping should be relatively easy.
You got the 36 and multiplying 2 outsides in the second bracket?
I love it.
That's what you always do.
Always.
All right.
In fact, the funny thing is, real quick, don't write this down, just watch. How would you factor this here? Finish it out, Jeff. How do you factor that?
X and
Minus
3 and 4. 3 and 4.
3 and 4 don't make 4.
No, 2 and 6.
6.
The bigger one's got to be.
Negative.
Yeah.
Now, I did factors of negative 12, right?
Yeah.
What's in front?
1.
A 1.
1. What is 1 times negative 12?
Negative 12.
So we always do that. What's the only time it messes me up is when it's not a 1. So I'm not doing anything different. It's just that when there's a 1 out front, we really don't have to do it because it doesn't change anything. Right? That's why this is one step and I'm done, because that 1 doesn't change anything. You guys see what I'm saying? So here, this 6 throws me way the hell off.
So
The factors of it are going to multiply with the other crap and mess up my middle terms and all that kind of crap, right?
So basically, if it's not a 1, you have to break it down even more.
You got to take it into account. Right? So you're not looking for factors of this to add to be this.
No.
You have to,
You're looking at factors of the product of those.
the product of the
To
2
add
outside
be-
numbers, right?
Now how does this guy group? The 12 is still coming for the ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have,
You take out a y.
Beautiful. A 2 comes out. You can take 1y.
At 3y minus 2.
when you
Cool. Everybody cool with that?
Yep.
Because the 2 goes to 6 3 times. You had 2 y's. You took 1. You got 1 left. Blah, blah, blah.
Okay, 3 out of that one.
Plus 3.
where do they go when you take them away?
A 3y minus.
They don't just go to the cornfield. They're right there. You can see them.
Okay. Ice.
Right? They don't just disappear.
Oh my
And
god.
then-
12 is still there.
Then you get a 3y.
3y minus 2 and 3y
equals
minus
3y
2.
minus 2.
No equals, right? And again, it doesn't matter what order you put these in. Because I'm just multiplying. I don't care what order I multiply in, right? 5 times 6 is the same thing as 6 times 5.
It's going to come out the same way.
So if you got this, awesome. Wow.
Sorry.
I want that sound every time I get an answer.
I'll work on it.
All right. That is the ugliest kind of problem you're going to see on this test, because this is as far as we got. I mean, that's the last thing we did, was what to do with a trinomial and ugly trinomial. What does that mean when the number out front is not 1? If the number out front is 1, you do not have to do this. It's a one-stepper. Once you get those are the numbers that go in. Right?
So what's our degree for this problem?
Now watch this. What numbers are in here?
2 and 3.
Negative 2 and 3, right? So they don't add to be 5. Negative 2 plus 3 is 1. But look why that works. Because these numbers screwed me up. 3 times 3 is 9. 2 times 2 is 4. There's 9 minus 4. That's where 5 comes. 9 minus 4. That's why I've got to take this guy into account when I'm trying to work backwards, because the pieces of him mess me up.
So what's our degree for this problem? The 0 degree?
No.
What do you mean? From the very beginning, it's a what degree?
Second.
Second degree, okay.
And at
It's
the
still a
end,
second degree term, I've just broken it down.
Okay.
Broken into its parts.
Oh, I
Okay.
see.
How about 66?
Any other questions on this guy?
If you change minus 4y plus, no, the third is,
Say again?
yes, yes. Yeah.
Oh, if you change,
If you change your position, it will be the same.
it's the same thing. If you change these around,
No clue.
in fact, real quick. Real quick. If you had put these down like this instead, so you could take a 3y out of here, right? So that'd be 2y plus 3. I could take a negative 2 out of there. Changes both those signs. Do you see how here the 2y plus 3 is on the outside? Over here, the 2y plus 3 is on the inside?
Yeah.
You still get the same answer at the end.
It doesn't,
So these are the numbers that will work, period. I don't care how you put them. What's the only way to get those numbers that'll work? By doing the thing I just erased this here. Right?
Okay.
But I don't care how I order them, they will work for grouping, period. Nothing else will.
And the six and six won't work because you gotta get the 5.
Yeah, I gotta get that 5, so 6 and 6 won't work. Cool.
So the 5 was replaced by the 4 and the 9.
Yeah, and just rewrite 5y as what else it is, negative 4y plus 9y.
You leave the Y.
Because negative 4 plus 9, does that equal 5y?
Right, no,
Yes.
no, no.
I need the y in there. So these are really just the coefficients that go on there.
That was the one thing I was missing, thank you.
Okay. Before I do 66, let's do one more like this, because 66 has got its own little twist.
63?
33. Yeah, 63 looks cool. 63 is awesome.
63 is not awesome.
It's awesome.
he's scared of it too. He's going like, oh.
63. Let's do 63. Sorry about the 33.
I did it very easy, I don't know.
This is still page 418.
Calculator brain.
Wow. Well done.
Well played, Bauer.
I got 5h squared plus 3.
Fourth power. Well, that seems a little freaky.
What's the first thing you always try?
Freaky to me.
That's without,
That
Yeah.
else is
Does anything come out of all three?
No.
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 Damn.
Multiply the first by the last?
Exactly. We always try to do CF because maybe 20 comes out, and then there'll be a 1 out front, and then it's easy. But nothing came out. Shit. So
What are
we're
you
stuck
gonna do?
with the 20 and the 15.
Yep.
Yep.
So
Wait.
20 times 15,
Here's my question. What are you going to do with the fourth power?
300. What's the matter?
What are you going to do with the fourth power now?
Nothing. You'll see.
So now we need numbers that equal 37 and multiply it to 300.
Now, I showed you the easier way to do this, right? Give me two numbers that add to be 37. They're both going to be positive, aren't they?
27,
16, 15.
10. 27 and 10.
That makes 31. I need two numbers that add to be 37.
12.5.
So for example, let's not go straight there. 30 and 7, don't they make 37?
Yeah.
But what do they multiply to be? 210.
So we're not there yet.
Not enough, right? So maybe let's step it back.
Need to have-
26 and
4.
11. Doesn't that make 37? You guys
Yeah.
see what I'm doing? I really want you to understand. One thing I need you to understand, never forget, is why you need numbers that multiply to be something and add to be something, because that's just the way it works, isn't it?
Okay, that's
We
it.
did several examples of that, of why multiplying it out, you can see why you need that, yeah.
25 and
A
12.
little bit more.
Yes, exactly. I just want to go straight there. I want to show you a little bit more of this Price is Right game here. Right, because that's what we're doing. Too low. Oh, let's try something else. Too high. Try something else, right? And it's really, you got to try a couple things, but it's easier to add to be 37 than it is to break 300 down in all the different ways. What's 26 times 11? 286. That's still not enough, right? But we're getting closer, aren't we? So we're going in the right direction.
Uh-huh.
If that would have come out to be 180, I would have went the other way. So it is a Price is Right game, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just without Bob Barker in your hair. Or what is it now? Drew Carey.
Drew
right?
Carey.
25 times 12, sure enough, is.
300.
And that's not, like if I said factor 300, I doubt many of you would go straight to this, right?
Yeah.
And I'd go, well, 300 is 25 times 12.
Well,
Everybody
you know
knows.
you're going for a round number, you go 25 and get you, 25 and get you zeros.
Exactly. In fact, 25 times every 4 times a multiple of 4 makes zeros. So the more you understand numbers, the more you can figure out what makes sense. Because obviously, Eli has a good point. To have a 6 and a 1 at the end makes no sense here, because